All right, folks, I only got 10 minutes before I have to get back to the hot topic that I manage. Happy New Year. I'm not afraid to say it on January 12th. It's never too late to wish a happy New Year, if you ask me. New Year, same mental illness. As your incredible chart-topping host said, my name is Joley Paige, and my therapist thinks you are all in for a real treat tonight. And New Year, I will say, it's a special week for me this upcoming week. This week, I will have been doing comedy for 2 full years. Yes. Still a baby by stand-up standards, but it's been quite the journey. I've enjoyed it. I think one thing that's really cool about doing stand-up is we have a lot of feedback we give each other, and I like to reflect and try and, improve. There is this one piece of feedback, though, that it just doesn't sit right with me. A lot of my fellow men comedians, they'll come up to me and they'll say, Joley, you need to do more crowd work. It's what's hot right now. It's what's going to make you go viral. You need to be engaging with the crowd and pulling them into your act. Well, folks, I'm sure a lot of you worked a long day today, and if not, it's past 10 p.m. on a Friday night, so you're probably pretty tired. I am. And I don't believe in the crowd working. But if you work in the crowd, am I right? And I wouldn't be standing by my personal principles if I let you, the many, do the work for me, the one. I don't think it's fair. And if that makes me a comic-unist, it makes me a comic-unist. All right. I feel like we got a few McCarthys in the crowd. All right. Woo, bad night to wear red. I get it. The country's divided. We got people doing salutes. We got Toby's left, right, and center. It's tough. It's tough. I do think we can all agree, though, for future generations, we're going to have to start treating each other better. Yeah, doing kindnesses for each other. No more 7-minute songs at karaoke. No more. For the future generation. And look at me. I love karaoke. In fact, I single-handedly wrote the karaoke rules book. And number 1, no more 7-minute songs at karaoke. And while we're at it, unless you and your drunk friend Bethany have previously choreographed who's going to do the high Galileos and who's going to do the low Galileos in Bohemian Rhapsody, we don't want to hear it. I'll speak on behalf of the Bridge Improv Theater. We don't want to hear it. I don't think we should take the Lord's name in vain like that. Freddie Mercury. The rest. I do like to imagine that, when Judgment Day comes for us all, the all-knowing being, you get up there, and they simply present you with your set list of all the songs you sang at karaoke. And that determines which way you go. And if Freebird is on that list, straight to hell. Straight to hell. That song has a 4 minutes long guitar solo. We don't want to hear. That is not what they meant by empty orchestra. All right, speaking of hell, does anyone else in Arizona feel like driving in Arizona is an extreme sport that you didn't sign up for? Yeah, like the 202 at this point is basically a NASCAR freeway track, and it's not enough that we have the NASCAR speeds. You have at least 3 different types of motorcycles, fast bikes, crotch rockets, I don't know. And they're all splitting the lanes and it's just like a video game. And I'm gay, so like the jury's still out on whether or not I'm a good driver. But I think I've been doing okay. I'm just worried, like what's been on my mind is when will the people of Arizona organize and get the electric scooters into the HOV lane? Because you know what's gonna happen in Arizona or Florida first, and I think we could beat them. I think we can take them in the HOV, motocross, NASCAR, Extraordinary Waste Management Open coming to you February. We also have Waymos, the self-driving cars, yes. If you didn't know, Phoenix or like Tempe was specifically chosen as like a pilot site. Like they're not in a lot of major cities, which reinforces my point that someone was looking at driving in Arizona and was like, we need to get those robots in there, stat. No one can do this job better. And I don't know, I'm a big fan of the Waymos because when I go to parties and take copious amounts of alcohol, I don't have to explain that to someone. I just get in, seatbelt, my pack of Corona, and we're on our merry way. Whether we get there safely or not, the robot decides. And I'm okay with that. I'll put it to Freddie Mercury to decide. I wonder, like I know that being a Lyft driver is pretty difficult. Worried about people's safety. People are weird. I don't like people watching me drive. So I wonder if the Waymo takes itself through a drive-through liquor store at the end of a hard night of driving humans around. And I'd say like, oh, does it get some motor oil? But I don't think the Waymos take motor oil. I think they're electric vehicles, so I don't know what they get. But get them a Four Loko, goddammit. The same thing. Speaking of occupations, I'm currently on the job prowl. It's not a lot of fun. It's more fun when you call it job prowl instead of just like trying to put yourself into a resume. I know, big surprise, I don't actually work at Hot Topic. I like to. I'm a professionol drug dealer enabler. Yes. I work in the cannabis industry. I make sure all your pre-roll tubes, or all your pre-rolls have a tube to go into, and all your weed has bags to go into. You're welcome. Very brave, an honor to serve. And I will say, working in cannabis has presented these professional situations I've never had to deal with before. A big one being, I have to take people who wear a lot of crystals seriously. And listen, I sleep with some crystals by my bed just in case. And I just think we have to draw the line when you're looking like a metaphysical Power Ranger. if there's one in the forehead, maybe not in the workplace, all right? I don't need to know what the crystals do. My coworkers love to tell me what ailments they serve. And I try and make conversation. I say, isn't it great we work for Big Green? Which hasn't caught on in the workplace either. If I say it into enough microphones, eventually. But yeah, my metaphysical Power Ranger coworker, Ian, he's great. We run reports together. And I don't know, we're all there because we love weed. And I think that's beautiful. However, that means I work with a lot of stoners. And there's not a lot of urgency, I will say. So I'm like, Ian, we got to get these reports in by Friday or we're both toast, come on. I need those crystals to start manifesting the reports. Sometimes I wish I worked for Big White. It's coming. It'll be here. One more thing I gotta say before I get out of here. My therapist recently switched to Venmo as her main form of payment. And yeah, I did not write the Venmo etiquette rulebook, just the karaoke one. So I don't know if emojis are okay. Like, what do you write to your public payment, to your therapist? Does she need to remember what we talked about for tax purposes? Am I gonna get a call if I put major bag alert, daddy issues, dollar sign emoji, double trouble, mommy issues. Thank you for helping me not rope emoji, skull and crossbones emoji, and whatever the youth is calling a little like, My name's been Joley Paige. Thank you.